I want to ask you about foreign policy, because this is something that you have a lot of experience on. You could say you have more experience than any one of your Democratic opponents in foreign policy.
I think all of them combined.
But some of your critics, some of your rivals have said that they question your judgment on foreign policy. And we'll point specifically, Mr. Vice President, to some of the decisions you made in going to war with Iraq, but also in terms of handling the withdrawal out of Iraq. I am curious how you respond to questions about your judgment in that space.
I let my record stand. I think my record has been good. I think the vast majority of the foreign policy community thinks it's been very good. For example, I got a commitment from President Bush. He was not going to go to war in Iraq. He looked me in the eye in the Oval Office. He said he needed the vote to be able to get inspectors into Iraq to determine whether or not Saddam Hussein was engaged in dealing with a nuclear program. He got them in, and before we know, we had shock and awe. Immediately, the moment it started, I came out against the war at that moment. Now, the judgment of my trusting the president to keep his word on something like that, that was a mistake, and I apologize for that. But look what happened. In the first meeting in the Oval Office after this occurred, when we won, when President Obama and I won, we sat there and the entire national security team came in and said, well, we have a plan for Iraq. And the president turned and said, no, Joe will handle Iraq. Work with Joe. So from that point on, he gave me the objective of getting American combat troops out of Iraq, which we did. And it was the right decision.
Okay, we're going to take a quick break. But first, some context for those Iraq war comments. Biden told us that he opposed the war in Iraq from the moment it started. But the reality is murky. His campaign clarifies that he was critical of the Bush administration's strategy and intelligence failures early on. But Biden stood by his vote authorizing force in Iraq for a while after the war began. In public comments made months after the invasion, he said he would have voted the same way again. Biden publicly said his vote was a mistake as early as 2005, but not immediately when the war began in 2003. Back soon with more from our interview with former Vice President Joe Biden.